Jackets himself. From New York City to Atlanta, Georgia comes freshman Kenny Anderson with a giant talent to match a giant reputation. Anderson has some upper-class support with junior Dennis Scott. And if two's not enough, welcome Brian Oliver, who gives the Jackets a trio second to none. Mr. Intensity, Bobby Knight. His team played host to number 3 Michigan on Big Monday. The young Hoosiers fell behind early to spot the Wolverines 20 points. But Knight kept his composure, explained mistakes, taught his youth, and nurtured a game-winning comeback with 3-point shots like this one from Lyndon Jones. Tonight they travel to Evanston to take on Big Ten foe Northwestern. Bill Foster's looking to forward Walker Lambiot for some rim-rattling action. The ACC and Big Ten up next.
This was the scene earlier this week at Georgia Tech as students engaged in an overnight vigil for a chance at one of 2,400 precious tickets to watch the undefeated Yellow Jackets face Duke. Those lucky enough to get in will see two of the nation's outstanding freshmen, Bobby Hurley and Kenny Anderson. It's the latest renewal of a series that intensified during the 80s. Great players like Johnny Dawkins and Mark Price fueled the rivalry. Both consensus All-Americans, Dawkins had a 5-4 edge in their 9 meetings. 2 more All-Americans, Danny Ferry and Tom Hammonds, kept it going. They also went head-to-head 9 times, with Hammonds gaining the edge 5-4 for Georgia Tech. 2 freshman stars, Bobby Hurley and Kenny Anderson, will usher in a new decade. Hurley has taken over the point at Duke after leading his high school team to a national championship. Anderson, National Player of the Year, has assumed the point at Tech, and even more, averages more than 21 points a game. We're at the Thriller Dome in Atlanta with a sellout crowd of 10,200 to see the nation's 9th and 10th ranked teams, Duke and Georgia Tech, a battle for first place in the ACC. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Larry Connolly, and it's great to have you with us for the ACC. Duke comes in here ranked number 10, but they are missing a great player, Robert Brickey.
Yeah, Mike, and I think it's going to really hurt them. Obviously, the 14 points in the offense are going to be sorely missed. But when you look to the inside, you've got to look to the 2 big twin towers for the Duke Blue Devils. And that's Ala Abdel-Nabi and Christian Leitner. The Achilles heel for Georgia Tech has got to be their inside play. And these 2 big physical giants could give the Tech fans all they want tonight.
Now, Duke has an outstanding backcourt, but if you want guards, you got 3 of them at Georgia Tech. They'll match up with anybody.
You've heard the old adage that numbers never tell the story. Forget it. That's not true. Look at these numbers. You want to talk about great shooting and average, look at the rambling wrecking crew right here. Dennis Scott at 30 points per game, a 54% field goal percentage. Kenny Anderson averaging 21 points a game. Brian Oliver almost 22. 3 guys that can put it in the basket.
There is tremendous excitement here at the Thriller Dome in Atlanta. Number 9 against number 10. The Duke Blue Devils against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. We'll be back with the starting lineup. Right now, let's go to John Saunders.
Thank you very much. A very busy Mike Patrick working on his 3rd game of the week. Georgia Tech ranked number 9, Duke number 10. Georgia Tech with a win tonight. It would be their best start in school history right now at 10-0 off to their best start in 10 years. A reminder, 3 games tonight here on ESPN.
ESPN's NCAA basketball, Duke versus Georgia Tech, is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world, and by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Welcome back to Alexander Memorial Coliseum in Atlanta. And now for tonight's Sears Die-Hard starting lineups, we go to public address announcer John Culver.
Opening it forward, a junior from Clifton Park, New York, 6'6", number 22, Greg Kubek. A sophomore from Angola, New York, 6'11", number 32, Christian Leitner. At center, senior from Bloomfield, New Jersey, 6'10", number 30, Ala Abdel-Nabi. At the guard positions, a senior from University Park, Illinois, 6'4", number 3, Phil Henderson. And a freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey, 6 foot, number 11, Bobby Hurley. Duke is coached by Mike Krzyzewski. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting five for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Opening at forward, a junior from Reston, Virginia, 6'8", number 4, Dennis Scott. And a freshman from Chattanooga, Tennessee, 6'10", number 32, Malcolm Mackey. At center, senior from High Point, North Carolina, 6'9", number 44, Johnny McNeil. At the guard position, freshman from Rego Park, New York, 6'2", number 12, Kenny Anderson. And a senior from Smyrna, Georgia, 6'4", number 13, Brian Oliver. The Jackets are coached by Bobby Crimmins.
Bobby Crimmins and Mike Krzyzewski, Georgia Tech and Duke, two of the class coaches, two of the class programs in the country. We'll be back for the tip in a moment. Duke scoring a lot of points, 95.8, 8th in the nation. They are thumping some people. Georgia Tech undefeated, one of 4 undefeated teams left. They are 5th in the nation in scoring, and they lead the country in field goal percentage. A guy to keep an eye on tonight, Malcolm Mackey, the freshman out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. He needs to do the job up front, Larry.
Well, he's going to offset those 2 big twin towers that I talked about at the top of the show. Abdelnaby very, very strong on the inside, as is Christian Leitner. Mackey's got to do a number tonight for Tech to be able to do something inside.
Abdelnaby against Mackey, 6'10" against 6'10". Leitner controls the tip. And this is Bobby Hurley, the sensational freshman point guard.
Georgia Tech immediately in a man-to-man, and the matchup is Anderson right out top on Hurley, and immediately Duke tried to go inside.
Mackey knocked away the lob pass, the steal by Anderson. He misses the jam. Scott goaltending.
What a beginning.
It ought to go that way for about 40 minutes.
Henderson misses a layup, and Scott gets a goaltend. We haven't played 20 seconds yet.
And now your first look at another outstanding freshman, Kenny Anderson, out of Rego Park, New York, averaging 8.3 assists a game. He is already number 1 in the ACC, and the delay is because of the 45-second clock over the baskets. They had said 91 and 92. I don't think they'll need the 45-second clock.
You're reading my mind. I was getting ready to say, who really cares? I don't think you have to keep it tonight.
Go ahead and turn it off.
Not very often you get a team that's leading the nation in field goal percentage and the other one leading in free throw percentage, which is Duke, playing against each other. Both of these clubs can really shoot the ball.
And 2 of the top 8 in scoring. 3 guards for Georgia Tech, all averaging better than 20 points a game. Scott is over 30, number 1 in the ACC. This is Anderson matched up with Hurley. 2 guys are going to play a long time in this league. Anderson.
Good roll. He's got a great touch, Mike. He can take the ball right into the paint, create something with it, go straight at the defense, pull it up, and let it go, just like he did right there.
Sometimes a perimeter game can fail you, but with 3 guys that they have, very difficult for all of them to go bad. Blocking foul called on Johnny McNeil, who is prone to foul trouble, and Bobby Crimmins is going to sit on the sideline and just hide his eyes every time someone gets close to McNeil.
You think maybe Bobby Hurley was trying to show Kenny Anderson that he can do this too? Very same move, except that Hurley threw the foul.
And in Duke, you will see the best free throw shooting team there is. Hurley is number 2 in the conference, 85.7%.
I'll tell you what, as a coach, that's got to drive you crazy to play a team that shoots 78% from the line. I mean, you don't even want to get close to it.
4-2, Duke. No pressure. Here comes Anderson. Hurley waiting for it. Oliver. This guy's a terrific guard.
Good man-to-man defense right now by Duke.
Got it inside. Mackey. And they can use his points. They don't necessarily need them, but at least he'll keep him honest inside.
Mike, the thing he has to do, not only get a few baskets down inside, he's got to be able to rebound. Immediately, Duke goes right back to the inside. A little 2-man game inside-outside.
Henderson for 3. Leitner with a follow. Christian Leitner had good position on Mackey that time. Quickly out to Scott. No whistle and no basket. The crowd didn't like it. This is going to be run and gun. Leans into one. Nice touch.
Boy, is that a great move. You're looking at a guy that is 6'11", 225. Now, that's an interesting alignment that Mike Krzyzewski has right now. He's got Leitner out on the top of the circle or right at the elbow, and what he's doing is pulling that Tech group away. The only big guy they've got inside is Mackey. McNeil 6'8", he's not big enough to handle Abdelnaby inside.
Mike Krzyzewski said last year that Leitner, as a freshman, was already a better inside player than Danny Ferry was. He understood the game that well.
Yeah, but Danny Ferry played so well on the outside. I mean, it's difficult to argue with that.
Anderson. Oliver. Nice dump down pass, and he got it to Mackey, and he's fouled.
I know it's early right now in this basketball game, but it's evident to me that both of these teams are trying to establish an inside game. It's kind of like watching a football game. Everybody likes to establish a running game, and both of these teams are trying to say, hey, we've got inside players that can play. But Tech will forget this in 5 minutes. He'll be all outside.
Anderson for three. Leitner, Sky. And here's the foul on Anderson as he tried to make the steal from Hurley. That's one on Anderson, the second on Georgia Tech. The officials, Edsel, Crowley, and Gray. Depth up front a problem, really for both teams, because Brickey is out for Duke.
Georgia Tech really hasn't deviated much in their defense. It's been a straight-up man-to-man. Good lob to Leitner.
Leitner put it in. He got inside position on Johnny McNeil.
And an assist for Hurley.
10-4. Oliver almost tied up by Henderson. Scott posting down low, wanted the ball. Moving on Kubek. He's got all the moves.
I think if there's one part of Dennis Scott's games that changed from last year and the year before, is the fact that he's beginning to go to the inside and play a little bit.
And he lost 30 pounds. Leitner with the outside shot won't go. Follow is short. Whistle underneath. Foul against Duke. Henderson couldn't get the follow. Kubek committed the personal.
Pretty good job down inside by both clubs getting on the glass. Tech's just a little bit smaller than Duke right now in the lineup that they have on the floor. Dennis Scott, not known for his rebounding prowess, really prowls the outside for that three-point shot. We'll see a lot from him tonight out there at home, as we will from Oliver and Anderson.
Although Scott was 10th in the ACC in rebounding, a stat I never thought I'd see. Scott from long range. Hurley just swiped the rebound ahead to Henderson. Scott can't catch it. And it's 12-6 Duke. Anderson back the other way. Hurley with excellent defensive skill. Mackey, double team, forced it. Kubek with a rebound. Oliver thought he had it. Abdelnaby on the lead, baby.
Nice move. Oh, what a move. He saw the block coming and went to the other side.
Hurley got it to him where he wanted it, and then he adjusted. 14-6. Steal by Kubek.
Well, Duke's doing it all right now.
Biggest lead, 8 points. Now making 10 as Henderson scores. Georgia Tech has been unable to get back on defense, and they've been hurt by it. 16-20 to go first half of play. Duke 16, Georgia Tech 6.
Enemy on the open. Moving up on your right, 5-on-2. Fire!
Blue Devils an assist this year. Already, he's developing into one of the better passers in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Look at this great pass inside and the good move by Abdelnaby to avoid the block and the jam on the other side. Hurley with a good pass. He got Leitner in one earlier, Mike, and got another assist off of that one. Look at the field goals.
64% for Duke, and they've been helped because they've gotten some very good shots inside. Tech shooting only 43%. How about the tempo? It would seem to favor Georgia Tech at this point, but they're down by 10.
Well, I'm not sure. Both clubs are averaging 197, the other 95. They both like to go up and down the floor.
Scott.
Nice move. Oh, look at Oliver.
Great inside rebounder, and over the back is Leitner. Georgia Tech has a history under Bobby Crimmins of having tremendous rebounding guards.
Well, Bruce Brown's down rumble was one of those that we talked about earlier in the show. Let Scott go inside, blew right by Leitner. Just a nice little soft shot. A little softer would have gotten it, but Scott with a good rebound, or Oliver with a good rebound on the Scott miss. And you're right, they've got good strength inside. Oliver, one of those guys that floats in. He'll pick up a few rebounds here and there. He's averaging
66% free throw shooter. Plays a lot like Bruce Dalrymple. In addition to his scoring, he is the third leading all-time assist man in Georgia Tech history, behind Price and Neal. Hits them both, 16-8.
Now Tech comes back with a press. 1-2-2, Scott on the point.
smaller lineup. Carl Brown, number 5, is in there.
That's why they went to the press.
They barely beat the press.
Good idea by Bobby Clemens right there. There's a big lineup Duke's got in there. They've got to take advantage of the quickness.
Kubek wide open, and he buried the 3. 19-8. Greg Kubek, throughout his career at Duke, has struggled with shooting at times, but he can tear it up when he hits the high school.
Again, good defense by Duke. Good switch by Leitner there. Kubek picked up Scott.
Oliver for 3. First team to 100 wins?
Last team to shoot wins, I think.
19-11. Hurley for 3. Oh, do we have some players out here tonight?
We haven't played 5 minutes yet, and already Duke has 22.
Scott for 3.
4 threes in a row, Mike. 4 possessions, 4 3-point field goals.
Put a strap on your couch. Get a good seat. Abdelnaby has it stripped.
Scott with a good defensive play.
Carl Brown, an excellent guard. He's 4th on the depth chart for guards for this club. Another 3 by Scott. This one won't go. Leitner to Hurley. Another 3. Henderson, it won't go.
Kubiak with a tip in. Oh, what a nice roll of the hand there.
That's a 2-pointer. Scott spinning. Offensive foul on Scott, and Leitner may have gotten away with a great acting job.
I think he did. Bobby Clemens a little upset. Watch Scott maneuver. Kind of a wheel move right there. Leitner arms up, goes on his backside, raised the fist and says, yes, I did it.
Leitner's a little stronger than that.
I think so. With all that weight that Scott's lost, there's no way he could have knocked him down.
He was 250 at the end of last year. One of the few guys who would gain weight during the season.
He's down to 223 now.
Hurley with Brown all over him. Forced that one a little bit. Mackey had the rebound. Gives it to Scott. Anderson wants it in his hands.
You see anybody in backcourt want the ball as quickly as he does?
Badly. Brown.
He's got Mackey posted up and he'll get it to him.
Good job by Brown not to travel, and then he's fouled. Reach-in called on Bill McCaffrey, who's in for the first time. Freshman out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Player of the Year. You look up and down this roster for Duke and Georgia Tech, you just figure whatever state they're from, they were the Player of the Year.
McCaffrey looks like he's 12 years old. He's got an Opie face.
Yeah, he and Hurley look like they're going out for ice cream.
Yeah, they really do, yeah. Just walked in off the street, but down there having a little cone.
And then they get 30 points and 12 assists.
Good movement right now by Tech. The best half-court we've seen from them tonight.
Anderson, short pull-up jumper. Mackey, good job on the boards to keep it alive, and it's out of bounds to Tech.
And again, Mike, everything that Mackey can contribute on the inside is a plus for Georgia Tech. I said at the top of the show that this is their Achilles heel, the inside play. Duke is big, strong, physical people. Mackey has to show it tonight.
Carl Brown not known as a shooter, and that's why. Kicked out of bounds by Duke out to Georgia Tech. Brian Davis is in for the Blue Devils. He's number 23. 6'6" sophomore out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. A good defensive player. Both teams have committed 2 turnovers so far.
And McNeil in the lineup now with Mackey out. It may be one of those kind of games where you've got to get a lot of guys in there, even though you're not deep on either bench. The way they go up and down the floor, you're going to have a little stamina when the guys out there that are playing and get some reserves in there to give them a breather.
Scott, foul on the way up. It counts. Hurley picks up the foul.
I don't think Mike Krzyzewski's very happy about that call. He felt like it was on the floor. Watch it again. The slap will come across the arm. The question is, was he on the floor, not going up, in the process of taking the shot? I think he was. I think he was going up. It was a good call.
No continuation rule in this game.
I'll tell you the other thing I'd like to see the colleges go through. See the officials begin to call the left arm for right-handed shooters when they throw that guy away with that left arm.
Scott, 3 out of 7 from the field tonight. Just a great offensive machine. 24-17. The biggest lead has been 10 for Duke. Brown is picking up Hurley. Trying to working as hard as they can, and Hurley goes inside. The foul is called inside, and it's Johnny McNeil for holding his second.
Bobby's got his tie undone already.
It's a little warm in here.
Got a great haircut. I love the haircut, huh?
Mackey back in for Georgia Tech. This is Leitner. Kubek is posted up against Scott. Now rolls out. 5-second call. Leitner didn't get rid of it.
You know, I think maybe he just forgot. Well, obviously he forgot about it. I mean, you're sitting there most of the time. That occurs when you're closely guarded out top.
Mike Krzyzewski thought it was a short five. Oliver. Tough pass and stolen. Billy McCaffrey coming back. Had Hurley on the right, threw it left, and threw it past Davis.
You know what made that play not work? Davis was too close to him. He should have fanned out, filled the lane all the way to the other side so he could get a better angle on the pass. He just couldn't get the ball to him.
Hurley will come out. Henderson is back in. Not many turnovers for a game of this tempo so far.
Mackey out top, handling the offense. Not a bad idea. Pulls Leitner away from the basket. Now Mackey goes inside. Got a foul.
Davis reached in. He picks up his first, trying to get in front of Scott. It was the 16th foul against Duke. Georgia Tech has committed 4.
What's been a Scott so difficult to guard is the fact that he's got the good quickness now with that weight gone, but he also can post you up. He still has enough strength to go down in there and maneuver with his back to the basket.
Now the officials are going to talk to the players about the pushing and shoving in and underneath. That's a good job of officiating, not to call a foul, just to tell them they don't want to see any more of it. This is Darryl Barnes checking in. This guy can really get up. He's got a 42-inch vertical jump. Bobby Crimmins says he really doesn't know what to do with the game quite yet, but he's got the physical to it.
Well, when the 45-second clock wasn't working a few minutes ago, they were going to send him out there to jump up and fix it.
Kubek back the other way, and Tech turned it over again.
Man-to-man again by Georgia Tech. Henderson, good move.
Got the roll. Duke is doing this without Robert Brickey. 26-17. Anderson, look at that speed.
So was that quick? He put it in afterburner at the top of the circle and went right by him.
Davis back the other way. He misses. And the rebound goes to Darryl Barnes.
Here he comes again.
Oh, the crowd would have really lit up for that one. Oliver will be called for a pushing foul underneath. Oh, Anderson and Hurley are both cat quick.
You know what I liked about Anderson that time? He was using the Duke players as a screen.
Yeah.
He had a guy going down the left side, and the guy that was guarding him, he simply took a guy and guarded him.
11:57 to go first half. Duke at Georgia Tech with a 7-point lead, 26-19. On campus at Georgia Tech, the Alexander Memorial Coliseum, 10,200, a sellout tonight for Duke and Georgia Tech. The Blue Devils leading by 7 with 11:57 to go in the first half of play. It has been an up-tempo ball game so far. Duke shooting 61%, out-rebounding Georgia Tech 2-1. The Yellow Jackets hitting 44% early in the ball game.
You know, this time of the game, when you've got that kind of score, 26-19, you expect to have 25 or 30 rebounds, but Duke just does not let the ball come off the rim.
As you mentioned earlier, Larry, both teams going to their bench extensively, even though they may not want to all that much. 45-second clock, not working again, and it looks like they just turned it off. It hasn't been a problem so far.
You know, it's a little warm in here tonight. Atlanta was about 70 degrees here today, and I think maybe that heat's carried over in here tonight. Plus, they've got a tremendous crowd in here.
I think before we're done, it's going to be about 85.
We've got a lot of hot air coming out of these microphones, too.
I should have said that. Duke basketball. McCaffrey running the offense. Henderson.
Good job that time to keep Henderson away from that paint. Oliver, good strong player.
McCaffrey leans into one. Oliver gets the rebound, and he wants to run. Barnes. Little left-handed jumper won't go. Oliver! Oh, he is clobbered from behind by Brian Davis.
For all you fans at home, I want you to realize something right now. Brian Oliver got the defensive rebound. He made the pass down inside the Barnes on the baseline, and then got the offensive rebound. Don't tell me he doesn't do the little things.
Davis with his second personal.
Watch Brian Oliver kicking the Barnes on the baseline. He misses, as this is the guy that got the one on the other end and also just made the pass. So he got fouled pretty good, too.
You can't really swat your arm sideways like that and not expect to get the foul. Oliver, 5 points tonight. He's hit both of his free throws. Tech has not been a good free throw shooting team.
Now, the one thing they have done well, though, is shoot well from three-point range. They're at 46%, while Duke's at 45%.
In and out, missed them both. 26-19, the lead remains at 7. Tech has hit 3 out of 5 tonight from the line. That's only 60%.
Mike, I really think that makes a difference between a good club and a great club.
Yeah.
You've got to make those free throws.
Henderson for 3 on the run. Tough shot, and Oliver all over him. Henderson has 11. Scott for 3. What a rainbow. Oh, what a shooter. I got to talk to him before the game. Every time he makes a basket, he looks over here and smiles a little bit.
So that's out of the old song, whatever you can do, I can do better.
Abdelnaby, good pump fake, gets the foul from Barnes and makes the basket. We're seeing some great athletes tonight, Larry, but we're also seeing guys who have been well coached and have outstanding technique.
Well, not only that, I love the skill level of both of these clubs because I think they're going to go a long way in the NCAA tournament and obviously in the ACC this year. The way they've been playing right now, I think they're the two best clubs in the ACC.
I agree with you. Abdelnaby, 4 points. He's been playing the best basketball of his career the last few ball games. Last 7, he's averaging almost 15 points a game and 7 rebounds.
I tell you, when you start looking at these two clubs, the fact that Georgia Tech is undefeated and the only 2 losses that Duke has to Syracuse and Michigan, I'll tell you something about the way this club, these two clubs are playing.
3-point shooting, Duke 3 out of 6, Tech 3 out of 5. Brown.
They don't worry about him shooting. They back off of him. Good pass to Mackey.
Little jump hook, wouldn't fall for him, and Abdelnaby with a rebound. Early back in there to run the clock. Quickly ahead to Henderson. You can't turn your head on these guys. Abdelnaby picked up the loose ball, got his own rebound. And finally, Mackey comes out with it.
Boy, it was a struggle.
Here comes Anderson back the other way.
The club really changed out of their man-to-man too much. Scott with a move.
And it falls. Holy cow.
Is he going to have one of those 40-point performances again?
I think so. 13 for Scott. The second foul on Abdelnaby. My, oh my.
Watch the pass by Oliver. He finds Scott down low. I talked about his post-up ability. Look at him take the foul and have the strength enough to get the ball to roll around the rim and down and in.
The junior out of Reston, Virginia, the 3rd leading scorer in the United States. He has been tremendous from the free throw line lately. And it's 32-25. Tech cuts the lead back to 7. It's been a sensational 10 minutes.
Yes, just 10 minutes.
Yeah. 30 more to go. Don't go away.
Good lob pass by Hurley. Oh, they almost threw it in.
A little strong that time. One of the first mistakes he's made. Oliver quickly back the other way. What a block by Abdelnaby.
He blocked it and caught it.
Bobby Crimmins is just living, but it looked like a great play, and then he finishes at the other end on a beautiful pass from Hurley.
Well, Mike, I talked about this at the top. These two guys, Langer and Abdelnaby, are playing as well as any 2 guys in the country right now inside. Macumbo, hey, Corning, forget it. We got 2 new guys.
Scott and Brown with a 2-man game. They ought to videotape this thing and put it in time capsule. This is what college basketball is supposed to look like. Anderson, a little pull-up jumper. He likes that side. Kuback with a rebound.
Well, Duke really dominating the backboards right now. They're getting everything.
34-25. Henderson, nice pass to Kuback for the wide-open jumper. That's a 3. Excellent ball movement. 37-25, and Duke has taken its biggest lead. Bobby Crimmins working the official, but the scoreboard tells the story better than that. 37-25.
Bobby is a Goliath tonight. Watch him come in, block this shot on Oliver. Ooh, a lot of arm on that one. He gets the ball the other way, heading out, gives it to Hurley. Hurley gives it right back to him, and the referee will get out of the way. We'll show you exactly what happens. He got the dunk. He's playing really well, Mike.
16-4 inside. Duke dominating. And they also dominating the rebound stat, 16-8. We have 8:54 to go, first half of play. Mike Patrick and Larry Connolly with you from Atlanta, Georgia. 12-point game, Georgia Tech down. They have the basketball.
Don't forget, though, Tech's been down before, Mike, and they have fought their way back in a couple of games this year, particularly against Pitt in their first meeting.
3-point firepower.
Duke did a good job defensively. Heard much out of Mackey.
Anderson faked the three, goes
Nice
to the
pass.
what a pass.
You see the move out on Nabi. Great defensive work to get out to catch Anderson. He dropped it inside.
Duke quickly back the other way. Off Henderson, out of bounds to Georgia Tech. We have seen from Hurley and Anderson tonight some sensational passes. And not necessarily spectacular, just so smart.
Well, they're solid passes. They're not flashy. I like the type of pass that does its thing, gets its message across.
Mackey misses the jam after Brown missed on a great baseline drive.
2 easy misses inside.
Scott over Leitner. Oh, what a shooter.
How do they do that? What do they do up in Virginia to teach them to do that?
15 for Scott. It's 37-29. The crowd comes to its feet. Foul, reach in. Hurley fouled by Brown. 17 fouls, so both teams now in the bonus.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good move, a very subtle move by Bobby Cremens early on. He took Kenny Anderson off of Bobby Hurley and put Brown on him. And I thought that's a pretty good move simply because they're going to need Anderson's offense so much tonight. It really would have fatigued him to try to chase Hurley all over the floor.
And Carl Brown is an excellent defensive player, and Hurley, the second best free throw shooter in the conference at 85-7, missed out. Oliver for three. That's Hurley racing down court, knocked away, loose ball. Brown comes out with it, 4-on-2.
One up.
Scott for three. That would have been a big one. 37-29.
That would have brought the house down. But for not. We'll go the other way. Duke's got it.
We'll have many other opportunities, I think.
Stack offense down inside.
Henderson got it.
That's the way you do it. He rubbed it off of Leitner, rubbed his defender. Oliver right back.
Oliver from Anderson lost the ball. Out of bounds. It's out to Duke. Tech has had several opportunities on the fast break. They haven't cashed in very many. Kubek back in.
Christian Leitner looks like he had a cat scratch him on the arm.
Duke with 6 turnovers so far. Tech with 5. 10-point game. Blue Devils up. Carl Brown on Hurley.
Amazing the poise that Hurley has for freshmen. I've only been sitting here watching him play now for about 12 minutes. I don't see any sign of any panic. He just goes about his business.
Henderson buries the three.
Talk about calm. Talk about ice.
Henderson with 16 points in the first half. 42-29. Oliver had to lean into one and got it over Kubek. 7 for Oliver.
Open palm. Let's see what they do with this. It's like a square offense. Screen down low. Henderson comes out top. He's hot. Get him the ball.
Crawford Palmer is in there, number 34 for the Blue Devils. But Scott comes down with a rebound.
Good move by Palmer to stay with him.
Brown pump fakes. Good pass inside to Mackey. Funny how people will buy that long-range pump fake from Carl Brown. He's not going to shoot from out there very often.
Well, I think people, as you know, you play in the league year after year after year. You get to know the players. These guys know he's not going to score from out there.
Brown working on Henderson. He forced one, tried to get the foul. Mackey with a rebound. Anderson on the run.
Nice pass. Oh, yeah. to do it.
Mike Krzyzewski has seen enough. He calls a timeout. 5:35 to go first half. Sensational action in Atlanta. It's Duke 42, Georgia Tech 35.
To put on a clinic with ball handling and passing, you might take these two freshman guards, but take a look at Kenny Anderson right here. Show you some of the skills, the ball handling skills, the court savvy, the awareness. Everything is there. Look at that pass to Oliver down inside. Mike, that's just being aware of where your teammates are on the floor, and he's always got his head up looking.
Against Pitt, Anderson had, as a freshman, 32 points, 18 assists, and 12 rebounds. It was the 10th triple-double in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference, and he did it so early in his freshman year. This kid is going to be incredible.
Now they put him back on Bobby Hurley.
Loose ball. Here comes Anderson on the run. That was a big basket if it had gone. Good rebound by Brown. Knocked away from him. Kubek steals. Well, Tech had an opportunity to cut into that 7-point lead and couldn't do it.
That's a shot Anderson usually makes.
Kubek for three. He is 2 for 2. Make it 2 for 3 from three-point range, and it's 45-35. Duke has hit the big buckets.
Blue Devils unrelenting tonight. They're really shooting well, both inside and outside. There's Mackey throwing it away, and Duke gets it back.
Airmail one past Scott. Bobby Crimmins, in a poll of Division I coaches, was named the best recruiter in college basketball in the fall. He's got 2 Naismith Award winners in addition to Anderson. He's got Scott. It's not bad when you get the Player of the Year 2 out of 3 years. Hurley, great move, missed the shot. Abdelnaby had the rebound and had it knocked away. Boy, it looked like he knocked it out of bounds.
Mike, the other thing is, think of all of the rookies of the year he's had in the ACC.
One after the other.
5 out of the last 6 years, he's had the rookie of the league. I tell you, he's got outstanding talent. This is a good club.
Once again, out to Duke. Blue Devils have hit 6 out of 10 from long range. Georgia Tech, after a good start, is now 3 out of 10.
What's the count? What's the count?
4.5 minutes to go first half. 45-35. McCaffrey, he can throw it up too. A foul over the back. That's going to be called on Davis. That will be 3 on the sophomore, Brian Davis.
Good position inside by Brian Oliver that time, just to screen him off and get position for the rebound. Oliver having a good rebounding game.
Davis at 6'6", Oliver at 6'4", but he's so much like Bruce Dalrymple. I mean, he can really go up after it.
Mackey has 5 rebounds in his first half. Oliver with 4.
21, guys. 21.
I like what Georgia Tech's done to this place too. You know, they've added some extra seats in here this year. They've kind of brought the crowd really right down on the floor. I like that. Scott up.
Nice follow off Oliver's miss. Scott has 18 and a half. 45-37. You know Bobby Crimmins wants to keep it under 10. Abdelnaby. Scott with a rebound. Gives it up to Anderson. Ahead to Oliver. Nice catch. That's goaltending. Nice catch by Oliver.
How about the look by Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Straight up the floor, and there's his buddy again, floating to the basket. You know what? You got to love to play with Kenny Anderson and Bobby Hurley. You know if you fight to get open, you're going to get the ball. Brian Oliver knew it. That's why he got that basket.
Henderson got there late, 45-39, and Kubek, limping, will come out of the ball game. And here's what happened to him. Looks like he just turned his ankle. Boy,
you know what he did? He stepped on the official's foot.
Yeah.
He stepped on the referee's foot, and that's what caused him to turn his ankle. That may be the first time in history a college basketball player's ever turned an ankle off a referee's insole.
45-39, under 4 minutes to go first half. Brown doing a nice job, but Hurley got by him anyway, and then threw up a prayer. Are you kidding?
Brown did everything defensively he could do.
Anderson back the other way. Abdelnaby is on Brown, so somebody has got a mismatch inside.
Scott's got McCaffrey inside. Scott's open on the other side if they'll get him the ball. There he is.
Gets it to Scott for 3.
Good ball reversal by Georgia Tech that time. Oh, you look for the guy that can score.
Dennis Scott, 21. They've cut it to 5. Well, this is what we thought we'd see tonight. Boy, Mackey did make a bad play. They almost burned him with it.
A little late recovering. You go help your guy on a screen, but you got to get it back quicker.
Oliver.
There he is.
Pass to Scott for 3 more. Over the back, and the ball will go to Duke. 47-42.
Look on his face when he missed that shot. It was like, oh, geez, but I'll try it again. I'll be back.
Yeah, he will. He's never been shy. When we came out here tonight, here's a foul as Brown picks up the personal on the press. When we came out here tonight, Larry, I honestly did not recognize Dennis Scott. He lost so much weight, and he has worked out so hard. I mean, he just looks like a different person.
You know, having lived here in Atlanta for the last 20 years, I've had a chance to come down and watch Georgia Tech practice every fall because they end up with 2 or 3 of their games every year. And
sure.
I had a chance to come down, and the first time I saw him this year, when I walked down there, he said hello to me, and I looked at him, and I said, who is this guy? I'm just saying, well, you were. I said, my gosh, what did you do, Dennis? Quit eating those late-night foods.
Hurley, 2 out of 3 from the line, 7 points, 7 assists first half. Here are the guys who are 1, 2, and 3 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. McCaffrey, Hurley, and Leitner. McCaffrey, or excuse me, Hurley has missed 1. He is 4 out of 5 tonight. That's a mere 80%. 49-42, the margin back up to 7.
That's rather decline to me.
Yeah.
Henderson now on Scott. Tightened up on him a little bit. McCaffrey doing a good job on Brown.
Mackey comes outside. Scott trying to go by Henderson. And that foul, I believe, is going to be on Mackey reaching over the top. That's his first.
Every time Tech starts to make a move to get close to Duke, they get within 5, they get within 7, and all of a sudden Duke makes a run and pushes it back out to 10 or 12.
And that's usually the mark of a veteran team. It's a little unusual to see that happen with a freshman point guard like Hurley. But he has found a way to get it to the right people.
Much important in college basketball. In fact, any basketball in high school or pro, you've got to have a guy who can deliver the ball out top. I see a lot more college teams going away from point guards and going more to a 2-guard front. So guys have those skills, both shooting and passing. And you look at it on this floor right now, Georgia Tech's basically got a 3-guard front, and they are interchangeable. I mean, Scott can bring the ball down the floor too, and Oliver does often.
James Mundell, number 24, is checked into the ball game for Georgia Tech. He's 6'11", 228 out of Aiken, South Carolina. Gained about 20 pounds since last year, put on some strength. Bobby Crimmins really needs him to play well off the bench for him. 51-42. This is Brown. Duke is up by 9. Mundell. Anderson got his own rebound. Nice baseline drive foul by Murphy. Gee,
he looks like he's on a yo-yo. You know, somebody takes that string, just pulls him back, then lets him go back to the baseline. Look at this move. Look at this move. Goes right by Leitner. Here comes the help from Hurley right there. Anderson with a great baseline move.
Yeah, but he's pulling the string.
Yeah, exactly.
Anderson at the line. Anderson. Here's what the point guards have done so far. Not bad first half numbers for either, but Hurley has had the better of the head-to-head competition.
Anderson's not shot the ball well tonight.
No. He's only hit 2 out of 8. He didn't come in here with a great reputation as a pure shooter, which they have enough.
Oh, yeah.
Scott has all the reputation anybody needs for one team.
Who's going to run some block then? They decided their 51's going to look pretty good going in at halftime and maybe add just a couple more baskets to it. They're going to make Tech play a little defense.
They're up by 7. They get it back to Hurley. The shot clock is now operating again. It's down to 18 seconds.
Oh, he stepped on the line.
The back stepped on the line. The official right there to call. He is as good at dribbling the ball behind his back, and not just for show, to get something done, as anybody I've seen in a long time.
Well, the guy across from him does it pretty well, too.
Yes, he does. Joe Cook comes in for the first time. He's a junior out of Lincoln, Illinois.
He's been in Mike Krzyzewski's doghouse a little bit.
He's on academic suspension
Academic
for a month.
problem, just came back. Anderson make that move. Cook says, what am I doing out here?
Who is this guy? Tech trying to cut into a 7-point lead.
Look at that, right behind the back. Good move.
Cook does a nice job staying.
Yeah, he stayed right with it. Cook with good help that time.
Mackey outside. Anderson wants it back and gets it. Well, he just can't get away from Cook. Shot clock at 15. Nice pass. Mundlin lays it in.
You know, you got to come and get him. I mean, when he makes that move, you've got to come and stop the play.
51-46. They've cut the lead to 5. McCaffrey running the clock.
And again, Duke's going to make Tech play some defense. Leitner down the lane.
Mundlin just swatted at him, didn't get anything. Anderson back the other way, and he looks at Bobby Crimmins, says, what do you want to do? 30 seconds to go in the half. The shot clock is off. The lead is 5.
Well, watch the 5-second call here. You don't want to get called for 5 seconds just before the halftime. Tech spreading the floor. There it is. Open.
Mundlin forced it up, but got it. 51-48. Another nice pass by Anderson. McCaffrey, double pump. Mundlin knocks it out. Brown trying to get off a shot. He's fouled. And Cook committed the foul. And Mike Krzyzewski really upset, I think, at Cook and the official.
I'd say more the official than Cook. But Cook should have just backed away. There was no chance for Brown to make that shot.
Exactly.
He was off balance, didn't know what he was going to do with the ball, and he bumped into him.
You've got to be aware of the clock.
Watch Cook now. Oh, I don't know. I think maybe he did back off.
I thought
maybe a little bit of a touch foul there.
I think at that point, you don't get yourself involved in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. You just get away from him. Don't even get close.
Brown will go to the free throw line. He's only a 50% free throw shooter. At the half, we'll have top 20 and other scores. We'll take a look at Rick Calloway and a first half recap of this game. It has been something else. Brown missed. Tip won't go. Could have cut it to 1 at the buzzer. And Mike Krzyzewski with a bad taste in his mouth as he leaves at the end of the first half. Duke 51, Georgia Tech 48. Let's go to John Saunders.
Mike Patrick, Georgia Tech showing why they are 10-0 and a perfect team right now, one of only 4 undefeated teams in the nation, as they do a comeback route the same way they did it against Pitt. They are down by only 3 at halftime. We'll get back there in a moment. But it's the first of 2 games here before we go to Sports Center, and then we'll have a third half. Atlanta, Georgia, and join Mike Patrick and Larry Connolly. It's 51-48.
We're back at Georgia Tech, where Duke leads the Yellow Jackets 51-48 at halftime in front of a sellout crowd of 10,200. Mike Patrick and Larry Connolly with you. Boy, it's been everything we thought it would be, too. Hurley had a sensational first half for the Blue Devils. He just runs their offense so beautifully.
Yeah, he does, Mike. And the thing you notice about the way he plays is the way he takes care of the basketball. We talked about his poise and his court awareness. Look at this shot he got off of Carl Brown to go down. That was a very difficult shot. Now go to the other end, and obviously Georgia Tech's got a guard of equal or comparable ability in Kenny Anderson. He didn't have a good shooting first half, but he had his equally good passing attack inside.
Here's the way they compare in the first half, both with good first half numbers. Hurley with the advantage in the points, but it looked like, you know, individually at least, that Anderson was coming on at the end of the first half. He brought Tech back. They were down by 12 at one point. Of course, one of the reasons they get back in the game, Dennis Scott, just sensational shooting, 21 first half points.
Well, that's what we expected from him, really. I mean, that's what he's been doing all year long. And when you take a look at the way he gets his shots, he gets them from everywhere, but mostly from beyond three-point range. That's a territory he's familiar with, and he loves to let him go out there. And this Tech crowd loves to watch it.
And no surprise, you were talking up front about the Rambling Wrecking Crew, and they did a job in the first half.
Well, they did. Scott had 21 points. Oliver and Anderson are really not up to their games the way they are capable of playing. Anderson with only 6 points in the first half. Brian Oliver had 11. I thought maybe came on a little bit stronger toward the end of the first half.
It's a three-point game at the half. We expect it to go to 100. Should be a great second half of basketball coming up. Don't go away. Duke leading Georgia Tech by 3. We'll be back for the start of the second half in a moment.
ESPN's NCAA basketball. Duke versus Georgia Tech is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just alike. By BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by Apple Computer, the power to be your best.
Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia. We're at halftime between Duke and Georgia Tech. The Blue Devils over the Yellow Jackets, 51-48. A sellout crowd. Had a great first half. So did we, and so did the coaches. I mean, Mike Krzyzewski and Bobby Crimmins were really into this one. Let's take a look at the halftime stats. Working as hard as they can go. Duke shooting better than 50%. Georgia Tech nearly so. Free throws, Duke, as you would expect from the best free throw shooting team in the country, has only missed one. Tech shooting about its average. They've had problems with that. Georgia Tech, amazingly enough, Larry, came back and they lead in rebounds.
Yeah, they had a two-rebound advantage right there in the first half. You know what I found interesting looking at the scoring in the first half? Duke played 10 players, and they only had 5 guys score. Georgia Tech had 8 players play, and only 5 guys scored. And one of them, McNeil, was a starter, did not score. So Scott with that 21 points was the big one. It was good distribution of points among the starters for that Duke club. Makes it a little tougher to guard them when you don't know where to go.
Mike Krzyzewski and Bobby Crimmins, two of the brilliant young coaches in this game. Both have built sensational programs with solid foundations. They get not only great athletes, they get excellent people. Henderson and Scott, the leading scorers in the first half.
Yeah, I don't know if we said enough about Bill Henderson in that first half, but he did have a great first half. A lot of it came early, and he came back again late.
Great pass inside, and Georgia Tech opens up with a basket in the middle to cut the lead to 1 point.
Has it been 5 years since Duke beat Georgia Tech here?
Since the 83-84 season.
Well, it's been 6 years then.
Leitner, yeah, we're in 90. Henderson for 3. One of the few misses he's had. Anderson, nice pass ahead to Oliver. And Oliver hits it. Georgia Tech has taken the lead.
I got to tell you, I like that no call. Hurley was there to draw the charge, and Oliver did hit him, but he didn't hit him hard enough to get a charge.
First time in this game that Georgia Tech has been ahead. Henderson.
That's a pushing foul.
Kubek shoved out of bounds as he went for it. And it will be on Mackey. That's only his second. None of the starters for either team with more than 2 fouls. Non-shooting foul, they inbound. Almost stolen by Anderson. Henderson, baseline drive. He's fouled. And that will be on McNeil, his third, and he picked it up in a hurry here in the second.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but 3 consecutive trips Duke's been down the floor. Henderson's taken all 3 shots.
And missed them.
And missed all 3, correct.
This will be a shooting foul.
Excuse me, I was going to say you may want to move that ball around a little bit before you decide to come out there and start popping. Oftentimes, a lot of guys come out of the locker room. If you don't get 2 or 3 minutes of good warm-up period before you go out there and start playing, it's going to be a little cold, and that shot's not going to be there. I'm not sure right now Phil Henderson feels like he's got it under control, although he's going to the line for 2.
Henderson, not one of the better free throw shooters on this team. He's only 82%. Misses the first.
Well, you talked him into that one.
Oh, don't blame me. I'll get letters again. You saw Bobby Crimmins got Johnny McNeil out of there in a hurry and put Carl Brown back in. Missed them both. Mackey with a rebound. Tech up by 1 and the ball. Anderson pass Curry.
Again, he's not having a good shooting night. Very poor from the field.
Leitner had the open shot and passed on it. Hurley with a rare turnover. Anderson ahead to Oliver.
Good look by Anderson. Oliver streaking down the floor. I would too.
Yeah, he finds you too. A 3-point lead. Kubek trying to tie it. Mackey with a rebound. Leitner over his back. Knocked it out of bounds out to Georgia Tech. This has been a well-officiated game.
It has, Mike. And the thing that right now in the second half, as you look at points off of turnovers, Duke looks a little disoriented right now. They're not playing very well on the offensive end, and they're giving Georgia Tech a lot of easy shots, and Tech just threw it away.
Tech on a 6-0 run. Now Hurley trying to find a way to get into that lead. Leitner drives, fouled by Scott. Scott with a little reach in, picks up his second.
Bobby Hurley, no-look passes. Yeah, he can do that too. Look at this. Well, is that a great pass? I'll tell you what, he threw it about 40 feet too, and it got there in a hurry.
Yes, it did. Leitner has developed into an outstanding free throw shooter, 85.2%. He's at 2 out of 2 tonight, has 8.6 rebounds to go with. Last game, or last year rather, he set a school record for field goal percentage, 72% from the floor. That's the first one, 54-52.
That's such a nice throw for a big guy. I mean, he pulls the ball back, bends his knees, gets himself in good position, good wide base, good rotation on the ball and the follow-through. And he missed it. Just exactly the way you're supposed to do it.
That's right. Anderson streaking back down court and missed the shot again. Good offensive rebound, and Scott comes up with a loose ball. Tipped in. Great job by Mackey. He kept it alive.
Well, Tech's gotten out of the gate very quickly here, and Duke has yet to get a field goal.
Mackey has 8, and the Blue Devils, as you said, Larry, they've got 2.5 minutes without a bucket. Leitner. All the way underneath.
Oh, and Kubiak wide open on the other side.
Hurley. Baseline swish. 56-54. Hurley has 11. Scott off the pass from Oliver for 3. Oh, what a shot.
Holy cow. I'm telling you, he was sitting in Bobby Grimmon's lap when he let that one go.
He saw himself inside the line, backed up, and buried it. Lob to Abdelnaby, a little strong. Here comes Anderson, got through a double team and drew the foul. This crowd is on fire. Mike Krzyzewski wants a timeout. Georgia Tech has exploded at the start of the second half. They lead by
50% when he came into this basketball game from beyond three-point range. This one didn't hurt his average. Watch him back up, let it go, and nothing but the bottom of the net. You want to see a Cheshire cat smile? He just swallowed the parakeet.
He swallowed 24 of them tonight. 59-54, Tech up by 5. They were down by 3 at the half. 16:47 to go in the ballgame. This is as good as it gets. Anderson to Scott for 3. Abdelnaby with a rebound.
I think there were 10,000 coaches in here that the collective gasped at that.
Leitner. Great steal by Kubiak. No basket. He's fouled on the floor. Took it away from Mackey.
Well, what a good foul by Anderson. He got him right inside. It was a good steal by Kubiak down in there. Anderson, realizing that he's going to go up for an easy basket, reaches in and fouls. Leitner with good position, makes the turn on Scott. Puts up the shot. Good defense, hand in the air. Here's the good rebound inside by Mackey. Now watch him just throw it away. Kubiak comes up with it. I don't know. Anderson really just a little bit of a touch foul right there.
Non-shooting foul, they'll inbound it. 4th team foul on Georgia Tech. They go for the lob and the jam, and Leitner couldn't get it. That's not supposed to happen on an inbound play.
Well, I thought Hurley made a pretty good pass, too. I think his timing was off just a little.
Tech ball up by 5. 16:23 to go.
Stack offense down inside. They're going to screen for Scott.
Oliver. Short. Kept alive inside, and Anderson comes up with a loose ball.
He's always coming up with a loose ball.
Scott had the 3, goes for the runner. Boy, it looked like he walked that time. I think Dennis thinks he walked too. 26 points for Dennis Scott. The lead has grown to 7.
Thumb down now. Duke going to run a play. He's going to get it. Leitner. And it opened up third on one side. Hurley got it back. They tried to go to Leitner, and they didn't get him the ball. He was open on the 3 side.
Leitner again squares up. Hurley for 3. Rebound to Kubek, and he is fouled by Oliver. That will be 2 on Brian Oliver.
You know, Mike, that's a strength move right there. Kubek's got good strength, and he can go up against Oliver. He's also got a little bit of size on him, too. He's a couple of inches taller.
15 foul against Georgia Tech. Remember how well Duke shoots free throws. If they get in the bonus, it could be a big factor. Georgia Tech only committed, well, Duke has only committed 1. Mackey picks up his 3rd as Abdelnaby goes to the bucket. So from now on, they'll be in the bonus.
Brian Oliver just looked over at us and just started shaking his head.
For Darryl Barnes, a crowd, from Munlin, who will check in. Munlin had 4 points in the first half. Mackey gets a hand as he goes out. So Mackey and McNeil, the 2 big starters, both on the bench.
You know, Mike, you'll get him back in there in just a little while. Mackey's had a pretty good basketball game tonight. The freshman from Chattanooga has really played strong inside.
Abdelnaby missed. 1 out of 2 from the line tonight. 7 points and 5 rebounds. And Duke, this great free throw shooting team, is beginning to struggle at the line a little bit.
All the places in the country that are tough to play, I got to vote this one as one of the toughest. Everybody talks about Cameron Indoor, and I understand it's bad. I've been there. But I will tell you what, the way they move this crowd down on the floor down here, this place is going to get that same kind of reputation.
This is no day at the beach. Brown lost it, got it back, kicks it out to Oliver for 3.
Nobody inside the rebound for Georgia Tech that time. There was nothing but blue jerseys ringing that rim.
Thrown out of bounds. They can't save it. Talking about Alexander Memorial Coliseum, in the last 8 years, Georgia Tech is 83-9. That's not a bad home court advantage.
Not at all. And I think it's going to improve. Yes, improve. The way they've got it set up now.
Munlin inbounds to Anderson. 15 minutes to go in the game. Georgia Tech by 6. The lob to Scott. He couldn't hold it. Loose ball. Here comes Henderson for Duke. Leitner chases it down in the court. Good pass to Abdelnaby.
Good look inside. Look at Anderson handle the ball right at midcourt. Look at the spin.
3 defenders in the dish. Oh, what a show by Anderson.
Mike, that was a highlight film from one lane to the other. Forget the shot. Here's the end of it right here. Watch him make the spin move, go inside, kick it to the right, and that's after he put it behind his back in midcourt and also made an outstanding move on the other end of the floor to get away from 2 defenders.
Oliver, a second-team ACC player a year ago. Leitner goes out. Davis will come back in. He's working with 3 fouls.
You know,
Oliver,
this
2 out of 2.
It's like watching mid-March.
Yes, it is. It has that kind of intensity. Nice night for Oliver. Very workmanlike. It's the kind of thing you always expect from the guy.
I got to tell you, I've talked to a lot of NBA people the last couple of weeks. They really like him as a 2-guard. They think he can shoot well enough, handle the ball well enough, and his defense is very good. And that's something these NBA teams really look at.
Yeah.
Good player, all-around player.
Well, he played the point here before and did very well. The 3rd leading all-time assist man in Georgia Tech history. But he likes the second guard much better. 62-57. The lead is 5. Davis. Munlin with a big block. Hurley almost made the interception. Oliver fouled. Offensive foul. Oliver didn't believe it. It's his 3rd. Bobby Crimmins did not argue the call.
You know what he's upset about is the fact that he felt like he got fouled before the charge. That's what he's upset about. There's no question he charged, Mike. I would give him the charge and foul too. But the backside is where he thought he got it.
And now we've got people throwing stuff on the court. They ought to find these people and throw them out of here and never let them back.
It's not technical if anything comes on the court. Please do not throw anything.
I know a way they can stop this. Send the players up in the stands after the guys who are doing it.
So now the Duke fans will start throwing things on the floor.
It just doesn't make any sense. You can really hurt somebody.
No, that's right.
14:22 to go in this game. The lead is 6. It's gotten a little
make teams really good. The individual efforts put out by each of these kids.
Abdelnaby, nice fake on Munlin. Basket counts, and they say Munlin shoved him on the way up.
I think it's going to be really tough for Munlin to try to keep up with Abdelnaby inside. Look for Mackey to get back in this game pretty quickly. Good pump fake. Munlin took it all. Hook, line, and sink, and then gave him the push.
Abdelnaby will go to the line, and Munlin is out, and you're right. Johnny McNeil comes back on the court. Abdelnaby will go to the line. The Blue Devils, the best free throw shooting team in the country, only 9 out of 14 tonight, Larry. 64%. Abdelnaby trying to complete a three-point play. Missed another.
Everybody's allowed to have a bad night. I guess tonight is theirs with the free throw line.
Anderson, great ball control. Gets into trouble, able just to dribble out of it. Brown, Oliver. Scott's been very quiet. Brown just inside the three-point line, and Carl Brown hits the jumper.
It's not very often he'll put one up, but when you're that wide open, you've got to take it.
The senior from Leicester, England.
Somebody told me he gave up soccer to play this game.
Henderson for three, and Henderson, who came out cold at the start of the second half, has the stroke back. 64-62. Tech by a pair. McNeil, as Abdelnaby won't go all the way out with it. Scott
had a chance to go up there, didn't take it. Brown handling the ball very well tonight. Get the ball to the open guy.
Anderson with a pull-up jumper.
I think he needed that, Mike. His confidence was down a little bit in his shooting because he had a bad first half, and he started the second half about as poorly as he did the first half.
He averages 21.5 points a game. He has 8 tonight. Hurley for three. Little Strong and Anderson with a rebound. He's another excellent rebounding guard.
He's had a number of them tonight.
Double clutch. Oh, you can just see it in his eyes. He wants it now.
Well, he's hit 2 in a row. I talked about his rebounding. How about 8 rebounds from his position?
Yeah. 68-62. 10 points, 8 rebounds. Crowd getting on Hurley a little bit.
Tech getting a little soft on their defense. Not a lot of pressure, and it's kind of opened it up for Duke.
Henderson with a miss, and Abdelnaby will get the foul. That's his third. So foul trouble may be a factor as we get down the stretch in the last 12 minutes and 12 seconds.
I'll tell you what, it is still warm in here. I don't know how it is very hot. I wonder if Bobby went in and turned all the heaters on just prior to game time.
Usually the team with 10, 12 guys to play likes to do that. McNeil.
They're looking for Scott, and they're looking for Anderson. They've got the hot hand.
Anderson has it. Had the wide open jumper, then goes in and forces one.
Yeah, he should have taken it the first time. That little hesitation cost him that basket.
Hurley to Henderson. Nice drive, and then he missed the shot. Oliver gets it out to Anderson. 2 on 3. He won't wait. Buries the three. 13 points for Kenny Anderson. The lead is grown to 9.
Got some ice on the floor again.
You could divide up the talent on these two teams and make about 6 universities out of it. 71-62. Welcome back to Atlanta, Georgia, on campus at Georgia Tech. Alexander Memorial Coliseum. Tech leading Duke 71-62. We have 11:26 to go in the ball game, and as Georgia Tech coming out in the second half hot, Duke cold. 2 out of 7 from the line. They have really struggled, and this is the best free throw shooting team in the land. Anderson really starting to get hot. 7 of the last 9 points, 3 of his last 4 shots. His numbers on the night: 13 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. He has a chance for another triple-double. Nobody else has ever done it in the history of the ACC except counting rebounds.
Christian Leitner with a good move down the lane, Mike, against a good Georgia Tech zone that time. Leitner's starting to come on a little bit here in the second half.
Anderson, Hurley on him. He wants to shoot. Scott with a tip, got it back, threw it up with the left hand, draws the foul, and Kubek will get it. That's 2 on Kubek.
Dennis Scott again going inside, something he did not do the first 2 years, and as you said, 10th leading rebounder in the ACC. The fact that he's gone inside and is giving them something off of the glass, just giving him another dimension to his game. Look at that, almost a left-handed tip in. He goes back and gets it, shoots it with his left hand.
He has played both small forward and power forward this year, depending on Bobby Crimmon's size of the lineup. Abdelnaby is back into the ballgame. Remember, he's working with 3 personals. Scott, 26 points.
It's really developed into something between a small forward and a power forward. If there's a semi-powerful forward, that's what he is right now.
Not a bad guard either. Misses the free throw, however. He's 6th in the conference in free throw shooting, nearly 80%.
Mike, I've got to believe that the heat in this building and the way these 2 teams have gone at each other is going to start to take its toll in about the 5-minute mark of the second half. I'll keep an eye on these players and see which one of them have got their legs underneath of them, the ones that are beginning to wilt.
72-64. Leitner, great pass to Kubek. What a look. He is such an exceptional inside passer, a lot like Danny Ferry was. Oliver left all alone, gives it to Scott instead. McNeil, nice offensive rebound and got the follow.
You know, tonight, McNeil and Munlin and Mackey just sort of drop up somewhere during the game and give them a tip in, a rebound, a key pass. They don't do it all night, but just once in a while.
Leitner got it back after Abdelnaby had lost it. Leitner puts it in. Abdelnaby is down.
Grabbing his left arm.
He got slapped. You could hear it as he went up trying to get the shot. Now, I don't know whether somebody may have pulled on his arm. Usually getting slapped is not going to hurt you that bad.
I'm wondering if it's his shoulder. He's got a hold of his left arm. Let's take a look and see what happens here. You can see the move right there as he started up. He lost the basketball.
He grabbed it immediately.
Now look at it from up top. I think you'll get a little bit better view from it right here. There's the foul committed. I thought it got it across his right arm, but he grabbed a hold of his left arm, his left shoulder.
Didn't look like a lot of contact. It may have just been the motion as he lost the basketball on the way up, but they are working on the shoulder. Abdelnaby, 12 points, 5 rebounds tonight.
You know, oftentimes you get a play like that, and it could be a dislocated shoulder. If you start up with the basketball off that, and a guy comes across real hard, he'll jerk or pop that shoulder. He could have dislocated that shoulder.
Coming up after our ball game, number 13 Indiana coming off that emotional win against Michigan Monday night. They'll be playing at Northwestern.
Did you have fun in that one?
Oh, sensational comeback. 2 outstanding basketball.
Yeah, that's great to watch.
We approach the 10-minute mark. Georgia Tech with the ball and a 6-point lead. Oliver has had a solid night. Henderson almost picked his pocket. McNeil out to help.
Duke extending the defense now. The man-to-man pressure has been brought out. I guess Mike Krzyzewski has laid the law down and said, go get him. Look at this.
Oliver lost it.
That's Duke's ball.
Yep.
Kubek with good defensive handwork and footwork on that side over there. Well, Mike Krzyzewski really turned the screw up on this one. That defense really got after him on that trip.
And this is the team that can do it, too. Hurley got caught up in the air, dumped it to Leitner. Duke very patient. Kubek wouldn't fall for it. Oliver pushing it up. Pass Leitner, basket wouldn't go, but Leitner will get the foul. That's his 3rd.
Ryan Oliver taking it coast to coast. He got the rebound, couldn't find anybody open, decided to go in and lay it up and drew the foul. One of the things, Mike, I was talking about earlier, the NBA guys really like him. He can shoot it, he can handle it, and he plays good defense with strength.
Good news for Duke. Abdelnaby is back. They could ill afford to lose him with Robert Brickey out with a bad knee 2 to 4 weeks.
Sort of flexing that shoulder a little bit over there on the block.
Oliver at the line. It's only 3 out of 7 tonight. Still has 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Boy, some numbers for these guys tonight. Anderson, Hurley, Oliver, Scott, Henderson.
You know, he's got a shot at it.
Yes, he does. just sensational individual efforts.
I wonder if we've ever had a college game in history where we've had two players on the same team with triple doubles.
We've only had 10 or 11 in the history of the ACC, so probably doubtful. Maybe when Magic and Larry played against each other. That's perfect. Henderson, who's had a big offensive night. Leitner from long range. Rebound to Brown, and he's fouled underneath. Kubek reached in. Not a good foul by Kubek. He picks up his third.
Somehow or another, Georgia Tech always manages to have a guard inside getting rebounds. I know they've got a lot of guards playing on the floor right now, but it always seems like they've got somebody in there, one or two guys. You look at the end of the night, they've got their guards getting 6, 7, 8 rebounds, and in most cases, you don't want your guards down inside. You want them back with defensive purposes, but not this play.
They have always had guards who are willing to rebound. And to me, that's always been the key. If you want it bad enough, you can get it. Anderson.
Tough shot. Hurley all over him. Anderson is lighting it up in the second half.
He has 15 points. The lead has grown to 10. Georgia Tech has taken control in the second half. Leitner moved in and draws the foul from McNeil. That's 4 on the senior from High Point, North Carolina. And Leitner did draw that one, too.
I will tell you that McNeil got every bit of flesh he could get as he started up. Leitner will go to that line. Tell you what, if Duke's going to make this comeback, they've got to start making their free throws. They've been very poor from the line tonight.
Mackey comes back in. McNeil comes out. Bobby Crimmon's going with one conventional big player. Dennis Scott is playing forward. Oliver is playing forward. Anderson and Carl Brown are the guards. 3 out of 4 for Leitner at the line. Make it 3 out of 5. Mike Krzyzewski must be wondering what has gone wrong with the team hitting 78.4% of its free throws. They are struggling tonight. 9 out of 15. Billy McCaffrey will come back in the ballgame. Leitner goes out. Mike Krzyzewski will go with a smaller lineup, too.
That was a pretty interesting change right there. When Crimmins went to his small lineup, Mike Krzyzewski says, well, I better get Leitner out of there, give him a blow, and let me put my smaller group in.
78-69. Duke was up by as many as a dozen in the first half. Georgia Tech has been up by 10 here in the second half.
It's been that kind of game. Kubek doing a good job on Scott. Now look how extended that Duke basketball, the defense is against the basketball Georgia Tech's got.
And they come to help as often as they can. Scott double team back to Oliver.
The ball goes in. Watch Henderson go in double team.
Scott with a turnaround jumper. Hurley with a rebound. Lost it to Mackey. And then Hurley went and took it away from him.
Who wants it?
Thing must be on fire. Hurley waiting for some help. Now they'll reset. 7:51 to go in the game. Kubek for 3. Loose ball. Abdelnaby. Good hustle to get it.
That's a smart move right there. He could have put up a bad shot, decided not to do it. Reset, run your offense. Get your half-court game going. Look at Hurley behind the back. Good kick in the corner.
McCaffrey, he can't hit it. Duke is cold here in this half, but they are hustling after the loose ball.
Tech not doing anything on that defensive backboard. They're going to have to get some rebounds. Henderson with a tough shot.
Oliver right in his face, and he buried it. And Oliver back the other way. Henderson fouled at the basket. Counts. What action. That's the second time tonight, Larry, that Oliver has made a play at one end of the court, turned around 3 seconds later, and he's making a play at the other end.
Well, that's nothing but sheer hustle. This is what you do when you're a great player. You hustle up and down the floor. He beat Henderson down the line, and Henderson had to reach around and foul him. Brian Oliver just runs out, and he gets there quickly, and you know that he's down there. You got to look for him.
Oliver with 20 points tonight. He averages 21-9, the third leading scorer in the ACC. They have 3 of the top 4 on this club. But he's hit 5 of 9 from the charity stripe tonight. Under his average. They get 5 of 10. Mackey with a rebound. Wouldn't go for it. Almost tipped in by Duke.
some reason, the Duke team did not maneuver at all after that missed free throw. They just stood in their blocks. Mackey almost got an easy one to drop.
Bobby Crimmins up on his feet. He wants his defense to extend a little bit. Hurley for three. He's been cold in the second half. Loose ball, Leitner. Off balance. Look at that follow. Who got it? Hill? May have been Thomas Hill, number 25. Duke is just throwing their bodies at the backboard.
And they're getting it done.
Aren't they ever? 80-73. Scott, fall away three-pointer. If that had gone, you could forget it. Follow won't go. Scott again. No basket. Offensive foul. 3 on Scott, and that was a good call. Disappointing for Scott. He picks up his 3rd timeout. Georgia Tech leads by 7. Mike Patrick and Larry Conley with you from Atlanta. 80-73. Georgia Tech with 6:26 left to go. Here's a look at the foul trouble for both ball clubs. Leitner, Abdelnaby, and Davis each have 3. McNeil with 4 for Georgia Tech. Scott, Mackey, and Oliver each have 3. With 6:26 to go, these teams are on the verge of having problems, but they've stayed out of it so far. You could not get a ticket for this one. As we drove in tonight, must have been 30 people with signs that they need tickets.
Well, whoever's in Park City is enjoying the slopes, but we're having a better time here.
Both teams have struggled, and Duke, an outstanding free throw shooting ball club. Both 10 out of 17.
Well, Tech has extended that defense. You can see Oliver all over on the outside. Hurley there, Brown all over him.
Brown's done a good defensive job on her. Hill lost it out of bounds.
Brown did it that time. He backed off of Hurley's pass, sort of got in the way, and Hill just kissed it off his knee out of bounds. Mike Krzyzewski said, what happened?
Tough spot to put in the freshman from Lancaster, Texas. His father, an assistant athletic director at Oklahoma.
What do they run and shoot?
Oh. Brown, he's being covered by McCaffrey. Oliver blocked by Leitner, but Mackey with another rebound. He's done a great job, Larry, inside.
He's had an outstanding game. He has 14 rebounds in this basketball game, and in fact leads everybody in that category.
Did you see Hurley going down, got the tie-up with Anderson? The possession arrow will give the ball to Duke.
Well, we talked about these two guys at the top of the show, the way they handle the basketball and the way they pass. How about their defensive work? How about their effort? Look at this. You know what he's saying to him? Hey, I'm going to be here for 4 more years, and Anderson's saying, so am I.
You realize how many times we're going to get to see these guys go against each other? 80-73. Blue Devils need a basket here. Leitner tried to get it, forced it up, got the loose ball. He's fouled on the way up. The basket will not count.
The foul occurred on the floor. Was it Brown?
It was Brown. That's his 3rd. He joins a long list of Georgia Tech players. Larry, how good are these 2 ball clubs? Are these the best 2 teams in the conference right now?
Yeah, I think so. But I also think they're probably right where they ought to be in the country, ranked 9th and 10th respectively in this basketball game. You know, the fact that Bricky's not playing for Duke tonight impresses me even more with the fact that once he gets back in the lineup, and he's really the most athletic player they have on this basketball team, you put him back in there as you take a look at him sitting right there. Well, this Duke team is going to be something to contend with. They've been to the Final Four 3 of the last 4 years. They may be getting ready to make it 4 out of the last 5.
Leitner comes through with a pair. It's 80-75. Bricky, by the way, will not have to have surgery. He will be 100% when he comes back within 2 to 4 weeks.
And on the other side, if Mackey continues to improve and play his game as well as he's played here tonight, you can look for Tech to be there.
You bet. They get any help off the bench up front. Anderson, who's had a big second half, over Hurley. Abdelnaby with another rebound. He's been strong on the boards. And here comes Hurley. It looks like the momentum has gone back to Duke. Kubek for 3.
Well, that's a big one. Now the game's tight. 2 points. 80-78 Tech.
It has seesawed back and forth. 16 points for Kubek. Bobby Crimmins doesn't want it to get any closer. He calls timeout with 4:52 in the game. Georgia Tech 80, Duke 78. This one has lived up to its billing. Georgia Tech by 2 over Duke, 80-78, the 9th and 10th ranked teams in the country. Here's the timeout story. Duke with 2, Georgia Tech with 1. We have 4:52 to go on the clock. And Duke has worked its way back into this one after being down by 10. The Blue Devils led by as many as 12. That was in the first half. And both teams have done exceptionally well from outside, as we expected.
Mike, you made a good point just before the commercial. It looks like Duke might be getting it back a little bit. Defensively, they're out there pushing a little, too. They've got Tech extended their offense way out.
They have done it with defense, as they always have under Mike Krzyzewski. Look at Henderson reaching on Scott. Scott leans into a jumper, can't get it. Scott had 21 at the half. He has 27 right now. Hurley to Abdelnaby. Couldn't hold it. Lost it, but last touch by Tech.
Mike, there was a point in this basketball game when Mike Krzyzewski asked his team to really reach down and start playing some strong defense. And from that point on, this club turned around. They got a chance to tie it now.
Henderson. A two-point shot. We're tied at 80. The crowd comes to its feet. It is a new record crowd at Reynolds Coliseum. Scott for three. Georgia Tech keeping it alive, and Abdelnaby will be called for his fourth personal foul.
Scott Still's going to put the basketball up, and you got to get it to him. I mean, as hot as he's been, he was strong in the first half. He's cooled off a lot in this second half, but I've got to attribute a lot of that to the way Duke's played him defensively. Oftentimes it's been Phil Henderson who's been in his face. Abdelnaby, as you see there, with his fourth personal foul. Well, they could not lose him because he's done a great job on the inside for them.
I believe I said Reynolds Coliseum. I only missed by 2 states. It's Alexander Memorial Coliseum.
That's close. Yeah, same conference.
Mackey has struggled all year at the free throw line. Missed that one badly. He's made only 6 of 14 free throws this year. Duke with a chance to take the lead. The Blue Devils on a 12-2 run.
1-4 set, good lob.
Lakener,
Mackey, holding.
Yep. Mackey got him on the way, and that's his fourth. He joins McNeil with 4 up front.
You know, Mike, that set that they use right there, when Mike Krzyzewski goes to a 1-4 and he lines those 4 guys up across the lane, puts a lot of pressure on the point guard to have to contend with Hurley because he's got the opportunity to work one-on-one. But it puts a lot of pressure on those wings and the interior guys because Hurley is such a good passer as he was there. The lob pass is always open, particularly if you overplay.
Laettner 6 out of 8 from the line tonight. 16 points. Duke has taken the lead 81-80 with 3:53 to go in the game. You get the feeling Duke's struggling at the free throw line, but they'll make the pressure shots.
This game's almost like a pendulum. It just keeps swinging back and forth.
82-80 Blue Devils. Let's see if Georgia Tech has another answer. Oliver forced it up, lost it. Bodies everywhere on the floor. Hurley comes out with it.
Well, I tell you, Duke was all over that. You know, it looked like they fumbled the ball and they were covering it up. Nothing but blue shirts on the Pines.
Really turned up the defensive intensity. Laettner can't get away from McNeil. Henderson for 3, and it's a 5-point game. Henderson with 23 points. Anderson, somebody has to answer. He threw up a prayer, but he'll get the foul. And if it's Abdelnaby, that's 5.
And you know what? It could have been Hurley going down the lane. I couldn't see from my angle whether Anderson was pushing off or not, but he and Hurley were battling going down the left side of that lane. Abdelnaby trying to help. Came over and committed the foul, and he's going to have to go to the bench. Watch it down inside now. Watch Anderson take the basketball. No question about the foul. I mean, he did get him.
Had to be Abdelnaby. That's his 5th. He fouls out with 3:13 to go in the game. 12 points, 7 rebounds. Anderson will go to the free throw line.
Please, stay there.
17-2 run.
And Mike, really, again, I'm going to bring this up. Sometimes your defense will trigger your offense. And I think when Mike Krzyzewski came out of that one commercial and told his guys to go out after him, everything sort of picked up. They were the defensive end first, and that's why it started there.
Kenny Anderson, 4 out of 4 from the line, 17 points. 85-82, Duke by 3, approaching the 3-minute mark. Crowd exhorting Georgia Tech to play defense.
They're trying to screen to find Phil Henderson on one side.
Phil,
McCaffrey, baseline drive. They left him alone. He put it up. That was touched on the rim by Leitner.
You know, Mike, I thought that ball was underneath the rim.
Well, that's obviously the argument Mike Krzyzewski is making. I thought it was up there.
Let's watch it again. Now watch Hurley take the basketball, go to the right side. Now watch the move by McCaffrey inside and the follow-up. Was the ball below the rim? That was on there. That was a good call.
Oliver fouled on the way up. Looked like Henderson. But Georgia Tech is now going to have to prove it can shoot free throws down the stretch, because Duke is not giving up any of the intensity on defense. You go up with the ball and somebody's going to have a body on you.
You think maybe the pendulum's beginning to come back the other way now?
It looks that way. I hope it's dead center at the bottom when this one's over.
Nothing like a little OT in a good game.
No, this will look good at about 3 overtimes.
Our second game, I don't know. Mr. Knight might get a little upset about that.
Oh, yeah. Georgia Tech now 13 of 21 at the free throw line. It's a tough life for a coach. All you can do is sit there and watch at this point. 2-point game. Oliver can cut it to 1. And does. It's amazing how these guys get better late in the game.
Well, that's what it's about. The guy walks up there. He knows he has to have it. He's got to make them.
85-84. Duke by a point.
Oliver with a tough defensive job now against Phil Henderson. Look at the defense. See the defense extended? Pick all over the floor.
Hurley trying to get by Brown. Blocking foul on Carl Brown. He thought he had drawn the charge.
You know what? He never got his body in front. He was trailing him the whole way. He went right down the lane, right on his hips. If you can get your body in front of the offensive player, you'll get that charge. I don't think he got around far enough.
He made it awful close at the end, though, didn't he?
Well, he made up a lot of ground in one step. Bobby Clemens right there, a little teaching. Maybe a little motivational talk, too.
Hurley, 4 out of 5. The second best free throw shooter in the conference. 5 out of 6 tonight. And there's a look at the 2 sensational freshman guards. Pretty good numbers. Hurley hits them both. It's 87-84. Duke over Georgia Tech. 2:20 to go in the game. We have a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. 87-84. Duke by 3 over Georgia Tech with 2:20 to go in the game from Atlanta. Both teams, 1 timeout left. And you know they'll use it for strategy, but at this point, on a very, very hot night, they might want to use it to give their players a breather. Here's the Georgia Tech triple threat. Their season average and what they've done tonight. Oliver over the average, Scott and Anderson under. Remember the big first half that Dennis Scott had with 27 or 21. He's only had 6 in the second half. I get the feeling he will get a couple of more before this one's over.
Well, Mike, all 3 of those guys I think have played very well. In fact, both of these teams have played a great basketball game tonight. You can't ask any more. Both of them are going to be in the 90s. It's exactly what we expected to see.
And look who they're doing it against, too. Scott only 2 out of 11 from the floor in this half.
Well, we could do 3 of these a week. I mean, just these games.
I'd love to try. I don't know how long it'll last.
All right, stack offense. They're going to try to get it to Scott down underneath. He's trying to post up Kubek inside.
Anderson goes baseline against Hurley.
In trouble there.
Brown. McCaffrey hustles on defense, too. Oh, that was a break for Georgia Tech because Hurley reached out, didn't even see the ball, and it hit off his hand out of bounds. Otherwise, it's a turnover.
You know, he had his arm extended out there, and I think he was looking for just to simply to maybe get some obstruction out there, and the ball went right off his elbow.
Exactly. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Anderson spins on Hurley. Hit a big one.
You'll see Anderson do that a lot. He'll get a lot of man-to-man defenses, and he'll take a guy right down that lane with a one-on-one move.
Anderson has 19. It's a 1-point game. This has been sensational. Hurley is open. Didn't want to take the shot.
Now, look at that idea. Good possession here, Mike. They want to take their time and get a good shot. They've got the 1-point lead away from home. Make sure you get at least a good one before you go back on defense.
Game clock at 1:20, shot clock at 16.
Here goes the stack. He'll look to the left. Hurley kicks it inside.
Leitner open, leans into it, and Leitner again force the foul. He is so good at that.
Like what they do is they put Phil Henderson on one side with Christian Leitner. And what Henderson tries to do is screen or rub his defender off and then pop out. If the guy comes with him, then the ball gets dropped inside to Leitner, and that's why he's open. You see, now look at the outside. Henderson's not there. He can't get the ball, but it opens it up on the inside. Anderson trying to get there to help a little bit, but really Leitner too strong inside. For
McNeil has fouled out of the ball game, and twice, Larry, he has committed a cardinal sin for a big man who is not going to try to block the shot. He does not put his arms straight up. He has great position and then sort of drapes his arms down a little bit and forces the foul call.
Exactly. That principle of verticality is so important. You've got to be able to get in position with arms extended and protect the zone that you're allowed to.
Leitner better than his teammates tonight, 8 out of 10 from the line, and now it's where they get so big.
Tell you what, when it comes crunch time, you hear nothing but chords.
That's right. 88-86. Leitner can make it a 3-point lead. And does. Does Georgia Tech go for the 3?
Not now. No, too early. You got a minute and 10 left to play.
Anderson trying to work one-on-one. Scott from downtown. And the rebound goes to McCaffrey, and now Duke will try to work the clock up by 3.
Obviously, you say it's not a good decision to take that shot, but if he makes it, everybody goes nuts.
Should have gotten 4 for that if it went in.
Duke's going to protect it now.
Try to deny the ball to Hurley so he can't get it back. The shot clock is at 24 seconds. Hurley double team. McCaffrey. Nice. Oh, what a pass to Leitner, and they'll call Mackey for the foul on top of it. What a pass.
Bill McCaffrey went baseline, saw the opening, the defense came to him, and he dropped it right inside. Well, Mike, this is the way you play the game. Look at Billy McCaffrey. Come right inside. Mackey tries to help. And there's the foul on the backside by Kevin Mackey.
And now Mackey is gone. That's his 5th. 8 points, 16 rebounds from Malcolm Mackey.
I did call him Kevin. It's Malcolm.
Yeah.
You know what? He had a good night, though. The freshman. You know, we've talked about a couple of freshmen at the guard. He's a pretty good freshman out here, and he's one of them. Mackey, obviously. Good night.
And that's what they will need inside for Bobby Crimmon's Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to continue to play this well. They're one of 4 undefeated major college teams left, and that streak in dire jeopardy right now, down 91-86 with 34 seconds to go. And keep in mind that even though Duke has struggled tonight from the free throw line, one of the best free throw shooting teams around, and Georgia Tech's going to have to foul.
I'll tell you what, it'd be interesting to chart and see how they've done in the last 3 minutes on the free throws they've been shooting.
I think they've made them all. Leitner is 10 out of 12 himself, has 22 points and 10 rebounds. 6-point game, 92-86.
Now you got to go for 3s. In fact, you got to hit 2 of them.
Anderson tries one. Kept it alive, couldn't. Munlin makes the foul on Henderson.
He makes these, it's almost socked away.
Very difficult. At this point, Georgia Tech needs 2 possessions and 3-point shots to tie it. Any free throw would make it a 3-possession situation for Tech. Some of the crowd starting to get up and leave here. A record crowd. Duke has hit 9 straight free throws, and they are 19 out of 26 after a real tough start.
All of a sudden, that average starts to look pretty good again.
Yes, it does. And they come through in the clutch. They're up to 73. Came in at 78. Henderson missed. That's a break for Georgia Tech.
Well, they need one right now. They got to do it quick.
Anderson forces a 3, way short. Scott saying it was touched, and the officials looking at each other, finally saying the ball will go to Duke. Leitner, somebody's got to foul him, and they kick it out with 15 seconds to go. And Hurley, as Oliver reaches in to get him.
Well, Duke's going to win a big one, Mike.
Away from home.
Away from home in the conference.
Without Robert Brickey. And that makes Duke the favorite, at least early, in the ACC. This will be a big win for Mike Krzyzewski, who's had a lot of them in his career at Duke. It hardly seems that he has been here 10 years, and that Bobby Crimmins has been at Georgia Tech for 9. It really doesn't.
Seems like they just started the other day.
Yeah. and they have done such a sensational job. And this young man has a tremendous future in front of him. 17 points, 11 assists. He and Anderson are just so cool. It's hard to believe they're freshmen.
It's going to be fun to watch these guys. Well, I'll tell you something. You know, it makes it fun because there's always new blood coming into college basketball.
94-86. Scott forces a three. Nearly made it. Oliver with a rebound. Foul will go against Duke with 6 seconds on the clock. McCaffrey will be called for the personal underneath. It was the 83-84 season. The last time Duke was able to win here. They won it 69-68. This win, the 213th for Mike Krzyzewski, ties him with Vic Bubas, a legend at Duke, for second all-time win. Oliver with 22 points tonight for Tech, an outstanding game. Again, he always seems to have an outstanding game.
They got a good effort out of him. I think the fall off on scoring by Scott in the second half was really the difference in the basketball game. And it was simply the fact that I think that Duke got out and defended him a lot better than they did in the first half.
They did. He didn't get that many opportunities in the second half.
He couldn't get the ball. Henderson was all over him.
94-88. McCaffrey gets it. They'll reach in, commit the foul with 5 seconds to go. Carl Brown dejected. Going to be an unhappy Georgia Tech locker room. They came in 10-0, ranked 9th. Duke ranked 10th. You can't afford to lose at home in this league.
Well, you know, at the beginning of the season, Bobby Cremins knew that one of his problems was going to be the inside play. He knew that he was susceptible and very weak on the inside. But if he gets good play out of Mackey, and I said this earlier, that I think he could bolster that inside and maybe look for a little bit more scoring to take the pressure off of those 3 guys out front. Those 3 guys are going to get their points against weak clubs. When you go up against a good, strong defensive club, you're going to have somebody contributing on the inside, or you're not going to win the basketball game.
First point of the night for Billy McCaffrey, averages nearly 10 points a game. Another outstanding free throw shooter. It's 96-88. The Blue Devils have won a big game. They will go to 11-2. Dennis Scott, three-pointer at the buzzer. It counts. And Scott will finish tonight with 30 points at his average, the number 3 scorer in the country. But it wasn't enough, as Duke has beaten Georgia Tech 96-91. For Larry Conley and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let's go to John Saunders.
That's Mike and Larry. A 5-point win for Duke ends a 5-game losing streak at the Alexander Memorial Coliseum for the Duke Blue Devils, and it ends a 10-game winning streak for Georgia Tech. Just our first of 3 games here tonight. And it was everything. Robert Bricky couldn't play as the bad knee. Ala Abdul-Nabi making upward at the other end, reverses and jams it. Bobby Cremins, Yellow Jackets down by 3 at halftime. Dennis Scott says, I'll take care of that. Backs up behind the 3-point line and hits a 3-pointer. And then Brian Oliver beats everyone down the floor, lays it in. Super freshman Kenny Anderson knifes his way through the paint, hangs and throws it in. Tech up by 9 in the second half, but Greg Kubek calmly hits a 3-pointer. Then Phil Henderson would nail a tough jumper. Henderson with another 3-pointer. Duke had a 14-0 run and led by 5. Another freshman, Billy McCaffrey, finds Christian Leitner in the paint. He jams it down, and Duke gets the victory by 5, 96-91, to end a 5-game losing streak there at Alexander as they win at 96-91. Phil Henderson with 26 points. Dennis Scott finished with 30 points, right at his average. Elsewhere, in the one team would